I want to ask you about one of the criticisms that's coming from Democrats here, because there was a lot of hubbub. Should the memo come out? Should it not? When it did, in reading it, Democrats said that the content actually undercuts some of the argument that you're making here, because it confirms that the Russia probe was already underway in advance of these FISA warrant applications, and that it pointed all the way back to July 2016 when George Papadopoulos was named there, a former Trump foreign policy aide who has since pled guilty and is now a cooperating witness in the special counsel's probe. So how do you respond to that you've actually hurt your own argument?
Well, I'm actually in a really small group, I think, of Republicans that think that this FISA process is suspect and wrong and should not have taken place. But you still have a Russia investigation even without it. So I don't know how many other Republicans feel that way. I am on record as saying I support Bob Mueller 100%. I think you would have a Russia Look, Russia tried to interfere with our election in 2016 with or without a dossier. So you need an investigation into Russia. You need an investigation into Trump Tower and the Cambridge Analytica email, separate and apart from the dossier. So those are not connected issues to me. They may be for other Republicans, but they're not for me. I say investigate everything Russia did, but admit that this was a really sloppy process that you engaged in to surveil a U.S. citizen.
So your concern is a process-driven one, not questioning the probe that the president continues to call a witch hunt, because he is taking this evidence, as he's saying, clearing the decks and saying that, in the court of public opinion, he should already be decided as not guilty of collusion.
Well, that's a little bit separate issue. We're not through with the investigation, so I'm not going to prejudge the outcome of it. I have seen no evidence of collusion between President Trump and the Russians or his campaign and the Russians. We're not through investigating, but I would ask my fellow citizens, keep these three things disconnected. Bob Mueller is looking into what Russia did in 2016 and potential criminality, as evidenced by the Papadopoulos plea and the Flynn plea. Congress is looking into what Russia did in 2016, but oh, by the way, it's also, you can do that and also be critical of the use of the dossier and the failure to tell the FISA court all relevant material facts. You can do all three, and that's where I am.